card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cashback Match. Now to recap and say cashback one more time. We match all the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
This is the Big 920, Milwaukee's all Badgers sports station.
Jump up and get down.
WOKY, Milwaukee, and iHeart radio station. Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin is on the air. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options with a lifestyle you deserve with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. Wild Rock Golf Club. From 5 sets of tees and expansive greens, it's a course set up to embrace a challenge for scratch golfers to resort guests. Also by Zimbrick European. Why drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary? University Ridge Golf Course, a public course that offers something for players of every ability and is the home of the Badgers men's and women's golf team. And by the Alzheimer's Association. Now, here are your co-hosts for Talking
Okay,
Golf
gentlemen,
on
mics
TPC
are
Wisconsin.
on.
Dennis Tiziani, who's a member of the Wisconsin.Golf Hall of Fame, and longtime Madison sportscaster Paul Brown.
From TPC, Wisconsin, along with Dave McCann, our engineer, Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown, and welcome to another round of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. On tonight's show, we'll have some comments from Podrick Harrington and Steve Stricker. They battled in the PGA Tour Championship yesterday, and Steve coming from 8 shots back. We'll talk a little bit about that. Also on the program tonight, Molly Braid is going to be on. Molly has been honored as the Wisconsin PGA Teacher and Coach of the Year and one of the best young teachers in America by Golf Digest. She's involved with Westmore Country Club out of Milwaukee and does a lot of instruction. She's spent over 9,000 hours teaching people how to play golf. We might hear from one of the Stricker members, in fact, the youngest one. Might be a possibility.
Well, they're getting the scores in, yeah. She finished 2 over at this AGGA qualifying for 1 spot, and it looks like she's gonna.
She may have won the spot.
She may have won the spot, but she said she'd give me a call on the way home, so we'll get to talk a little bit.
And Gary D'Amato, I don't know how he got the invitation. Have you played Century World since it's been remodeled?
No, but
as connected as you are in the state, and yet here's D'Amato. He today was up playing at Century World. I wonder how he got that invitation.
I don't know, but you can never tell. I'll write you a good article if you give me a spot. I mean,
that's true.
It always will work.
He did cover the Ray Fisher tournament. That was down in Janesville over the weekend.
Yes.
That's the amateur championship, and by the way, that was won by Mason Schmidtke. He's 17 years old. First high school player ever to win that Ray Fisher tournament. So a lot of things going on.
I wonder if our guy is recruiting him.
Well, if he's
We'll find out. We'll find out, won't we, huh?
And talking about things that are going on, Dave McCann made the comment, our chief engineer here. He said this is the first time that he's come to Cherokee here this year that we've done the golf shows, and we're about halfway through our season. He said, it's starting to look like a golf course
really
out here
is.
now.
I get a report, as you can imagine, so looks like seeding will happen sometime just around at the 1st of August. And, they'll be done with everything in September. So, we're on schedule, maybe a couple weeks behind from the seeding standpoint, but the golf course holes, the greens, the tees leveled off, the irrigation, of course, is going in now. Pump house is here.
Cart paths are going in, aren't they?
Cart paths will be going in. It'll be one of the items that go in at the end, but it's on track. Maybe a couple weeks behind, based on the bad weather and stuff that we had, and maybe some other. But that's not too bad on a project like this.
You just mentioned before we went on the air that a couple of people that you've obviously known for years, both of them are going to be new members of TPC Wisconsin. They're not new members to Cherokee, but they'll be new members to TPC Wisconsin. You took them out today and let them look around.
Yep.
What was the impression of what you were hearing from them about the golf course?
Every 2 minutes there was a wow. Wow, I can't believe this. Of course, they known the course from before.
What are they seeing? What are they?
Well, they saw bunkering. They saw different types of greens from big round greens, 10,000 down to 5,500 greens. They saw.
So every green's going to be smaller, right?
Yeah, all greens will be smaller. And they saw so many more tees. There's like 5 tees to every place. They got to see, the irrigation, where it's going in. They got to see the cart path, so something we've not had, the blacktop cart path. But every hole was kind of a wow. In fact, they were taking pictures and stuff like that. Now, these are guys that have been here for 30 years, They couldn't believe it. So it's difficult to convey how it really is. I mean, when you talk about something that's tour course, everything about it is there's no shortcuts. Everything about it is first from the bridges. They got to see the bridges. Wow, are these really something? I said, yeah. Well, we budgeted $200,000 for bridges, and
They cost $1 million.
Yeah, $691 plus $250. $691 to buy them and $250 to put them in. But they're not. They're nice. There's no question. Everything about it is first class. You look at the pro tees. Those tees way in the back. Those all have to be perfectly level. There's no 1 degree slope so water would run off. They have to be perfectly level, which means then they have to have irrigation or drainage in them.
Yeah.
So that's in there, and those are pretty much every one of those are done already.
I know the guys that you took out to look around today and those kind of things. From those back tees, I can just see them going,
no.
You got to be kidding me. This
Yeah,
isn't for me.
They already picked.
My tee is up there somewhere.
They already picked their tees. Yeah, we're going to be up here. We're not.
I think I'd be in the same position.
Well, I mean, there's a lot.
Some of them are going to be.
There's a lot of carry there.
Yeah.
But everything about it is, it's first class, and that's the way it had to be. When Steve and I talked about it, no shortcuts. Has to be something we're totally proud of. So it's above the pale. I mean, there's not. I don't know where I could take you that it could be this every hole. Maybe now. I haven't seen Century World. We'll get a comment from Gary, but they did 2 renovations there.
Yeah.
And so, I'm sure they're up to speed also, but this is really good.
Meanwhile, Steve had an interesting weekend, didn't he? It looked like he was going to wrap up that tournament.
Yeah.
Ran into a little bit of a problem on Saturday, and then Sunday turns around and from 8 shots back.
I thought he got sick again there in
Yeah.
the second round. But I know how that goes. You get going and you can't find it. Metabolism rate changes all the time, and normally he's on top of it. But I think that I think he gave Padraig a break. He beat him so bad in the Ryder
Cup.
Yeah, beat him so bad. And
Felt sorry for him. Maybe.
I think so a little bit, yeah.
But that really was something. All 8 shots back and loses the tournament by 1 stroke.
Well, Padraig made a big putt, made some mistakes, but Steve also missed 2 putts at 15 and 16.
Yeah.
But those 2 shots at 17 and 18 were he's right on,
Well, actually, we've got some comments from Steve Stricker and from the press conference after he completed his rounds this past weekend. And number one, his overall reaction to how he played this past weekend.
I was happy. Did a lot of good things today. It was a little bit tougher day, and I did a lot of good things. I had a couple of putts I wish I could have over at 15 and 16 coming in, but I made him sweat it out a little bit towards the end, which was a goal of mine, and he handled it. So hats off to him. He played great. I played with him yesterday. He played great, and it was close, but he was the better player this week.
And talking about Steve, he also birdied 8 and 9, and then you mentioned the 17th and the 18th. He birdied both of those holes, and he was asked about birding those last couple of holes.
Yeah, 17. I can't remember the yardage. 145 maybe or something like that. Is that sound about right? plays downhill, wind was off the right, and I was between a wedge and a 9-iron and just chipped a little 9-iron out to the right and let the wind kind of bring it in, and I draw the ball a little bit anyways, and it came in there, and I knew there was a little feeder over there on the right, so it just ended up being a really nice shot and didn't have to work too hard on that putt. And then 18, a good drive, and I had 155 to the hole at 18. Wind was off the right and helping, and had to carry it up on the top. So it was a big 9-iron for me there, and hit it probably almost as hard as I could just to get it back there. And I was trying to take dead aim, I was trying to stuff it in there just to try to make another birdie, and I got a good kick off the right side bank there, and left myself a nice uphill putt of about 5 or 6 feet.
But he finished one stroke back, and despite the fact that he had a great tournament and won $420,000, he was a little bit inconsistent, according to his words, and a little disappointed.
We came out with a goal of shooting 6 or 7 under, my caddy and I, and we ended up shooting the 6. Yesterday really hurt, put me behind the 8 ball, and but I know how difficult it is to win a tournament, let alone a U.S. Open. So I knew if I could get up there and, put a little pressure on them and get to that 9 under number, you just never know. And it did, I had to watch it all the way to the end. So like I said, there was a couple putts at 15 and 16 I wish I had over again. It could have been a little bit different, but excited about and happy the way I played.
He mentioned that that him and Mario, both on 16, when they were looking at that putt, he said legitimately in that press conference, he said neither one of us could read it. We couldn't get a feel whether it was going to break left, right, or not break at all. He said we couldn't see exactly what it was going to do.
And I believe that. That's typical of a U.S. Open course where they put the pins in places where they wouldn't pit, so the grass is different. They changed the speed a little bit. But the shots he had in there under that kind of circumstance, that was phenomenal. Missing putts, okay, but he made some too.
And when you're 8 back and then you're starting to close the gap, they were talking on TV, the commentators, about they wondered if Steve was scoreboard watching, and for the most part he wasn't until he got to a specific hole.
I didn't really look at it until I went to 16T, and I asked Mario, my caddy, I said, where are we, and he's like, well, you're 2 back. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, game is on, right? And trying to birdie them all coming in. And that's kind of the fun part. I'm in a position where I had really nothing to lose, and just try to play aggressive and try to make birdies, which is fun. Because you typically don't play that way in a U.S. Open, but it was fun today.
And those are the comments of Steve Stricker. Some comments from Padraig Harrington, he hadn't won a golf tournament since 2016.
Hey?
And going into that tournament, he said, I got an advantage, maybe over the field, because of how far I can hit the ball.
No
you
question.
Agree with that?
No. Yeah, but he is a good player. This guy won 1 or 2 major championships. This is not his first rodeo. But that guy just coming out playing a senior tour, you can see Steve's hitting 9 irons and pitching wedges in there. Well, come on, the other, you play these big tour events and they're hitting woods into these par 4s, So, but he's a good player. He's a real good person. If that's another story. I knew him from before, and he's been consistent what he's doing. He's very sensitive to other people's feelings. One of the reasons why they picked him for the Ryder Cup. Everything about him is a good thing. So, other than the fact that you wanted to see, I don't know if I should put it that way, see an American win. But, I'm
if
kind of...
somebody else had a win.
If somebody else had a win, I guess he'd be the guy, yeah.
And he had this reaction to winning the tournament over the weekend.
I think I said it here yesterday, when you come to the Champions Tour, it's here to win tournaments and win the big tournaments, try and win the majors, and I really appreciated the type of week it was. The USGA set up a fabulous course, much tougher than I had expected. I knew that would play into my hands, but it was really nice that, really solid tough golf course. Saucon Valley Saucon Valley is excellent, and obviously there's a lot of pressure on this type of style of golf course when you're leading. You don't want to make a mistake. Anytime you're more than 20 feet away from the hole, you're in trouble in some ways. So it was definitely a tension-filled day.
And despite the fact that when you got a 5 or 6 shot lead, sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do.
It was a tough day. I said it to you yesterday. We're having a 5-shot lead going out there. Yeah, if I went out and played great and ran away from the field, I could wave at the crowds and take shots on, and if anything, maybe even improve my position. But golf just doesn't be like that. It always, how many times do we see it? It always comes down to the last couple of holes. And when it got very tight, my caddy just kept reminding me that, if we were told we were going to be in this position on Sunday when we arrived here, in a week in advance, if we were told we were going to be, with a 1-shot lead, we'd be very happy. And, I had to take it as an opportunity the last couple of holes. I think it's harder. It is very hard with a 5-shot lead. You're definitely very defensive. The last couple of holes, I suppose when I got back to 1-shot lead, I was still somewhat defensive, but it's a position you want to be in. I didn't enjoy hitting that putt in the last from 3 feet, but you just have to accept that if you want to win tournaments, you've got to put yourself out there, and it could have been bad, but I got the glory instead.
Comments from Podrick, and he picked up the win and $700 and some $1,000. They're raising the purses on the PGA Tour and the Champions Tour, right?
Pardon me? They're going to raise those purses on the big tour, big time, and they'll do the same thing. Which, I'm hoping that they lower that rate to 45 and do two, I think 45 to 60 and 60 and over, something like that. They're going to do a number of things to try to combat the Live Tour, but I think that somewhere down the line there will be some sort of a compromise between the two. When money's involved, those two people will get together, and I just don't, And now, what did he say? The guy, the leader there of the PGA Tour, that they're not going to be Monahan. They're not going to be able to come back. So I hate to see that in golf. Why are we attacking this type of sport? The other ones I can see, but this one here doesn't need this type of stuff. But they've already acquiesced. They're into gambling and betting on players and stuff like that. So maybe the leadership has to be taken a look at there.
Well, and we'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing you the right balance of care centered around their lifestyles. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Enjoy the comforts of your apartment with an abundance of events just outside your door. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations in Madison, Janesville, and Baraboo. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
The radio show in Madison, calling you for the interview.
Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells, a Herdston Fry masterpiece, is one of the premier golf destinations in the Midwest. Wild Rock provides a true test of your skill, combined with some of the most stunning vistas you're ever going to encounter on a Wisconsin golf course. Download the new free Wild Rock app. It's a true game changer and lets you stay up to date and receive special promotions regarding all things Wild Rock. Bring your A game, folks. The Rock is waiting for you. Visit wildrockgolf.com. wildrockgolf.com.
Hi, this is Paul Brown, longtime Badger sportscaster. My wife was only 57 years old when she started having trouble remembering things at work and getting lost driving home. That was the start of a heartbreaking 8-year journey that led to her eventual passing from Alzheimer's. Please don't ignore the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. Find information at alz.org/Wisconsin. This message was made possible through the generous support of Oak Park Place Foundation.
We're back on Talking Golf.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
no, she got a hold of me.
or prefer singing your heart out in the car,
AGGA qualifying. And when early on she played, I talked to Steve, and she bogeyed the first 2 holes, and I said, "Oh boy, here we go." But anyway, she got it back to even, and she finished 2 over. But we'll chat with her a little bit, see what she has to say. But I think she won by damn near 10 shots there. So
holy smokes!
Yeah,
and there was only one spot available.
One spot, yeah, and she's used to that stuff there. But that's her MO, I mean, she's see if she answers. She's having pizza.
She's there.
Hi.
Hello, Izzy. You're on the air with Tiz and I. You eating your pizza?
You eating pizza? Oh, good.
Uh-oh. She's got a mouthful. She doesn't want to talk right now.
Oh, yeah. She'll talk. She'll talk.
Izzy, very quickly, congratulations. We understand you did very well today. Give us an update on exactly what happened.
Are you there?
Hi.
Did you hear the question?
I can't hear that well. I don't know why.
Oh.
All right.
Well, maybe it's the signal.
All right, can you hear us now?
Yeah.
He wants to know what happened today. What did you do? What was going on?
Yeah, obviously we got a bad signal. We'll try and reestablish that.
We'll try to get back to you, okay?
Try to get back to you. Sorry about that. But she, the bottom line, right, of what happened. She won the qualifying, right?
She won the qualifying, yeah. There was one spot. Wherever they're going to play it, I don't know the whole story. That's why we have her. She shot 74. She bogeyed 2 holes coming in. But she won by quite a bit, like 9 shots or something like that. So she must have... the course, Brandybrook, is it's a real nice course, Jack's course, and it's beautiful. I played there. It's not that easy. Greens are tough, and but she pulled it off, She's that way,
And
we'll see if we can get a hold of her.
Get her back again one more time, and also we're going to try and get in touch with Molly Braid. Molly is the Wisconsin PGA Teacher and Coach of the Year. And we'll see if we can connect with her.
You got her on?
You got Izzy back?
Yep. Oh, boy.
So, Izzy, just briefly recap for our listeners. What event were you in today? And we understand you won the event. So what does that mean for your next step now?
Yeah, so today was an AJGA qualifier through the state of Wisconsin. I shot 74 today, 2 over. This really means a lot to myself. I proved myself that under pressure I can play well and just get into these big events, and being in this big event will really help me, like, with the recruiting process, I'm sure, and just get my name out there. And yeah, I really proved a lot to myself today, so I'm proud of myself.
So now for advancing, where do you go to the next level in this particular event? What happens next, in other words?
So I get into an AJGA event. I don't remember what it's called, but it's at Legend of Merrill Hills. These are really hard to get into. So, like, they have multiple qualifiers for each event, and you have to get accepted to each qualifier. So, yeah, just getting into this big event will really help.
Izzy, where's your game improving from your perspective? What are you learning, and how much are you advancing in terms of playing better golf in your mind? What part of the game is doing that?
What I've been improving on is my short game. I've noticed I'm putting better, chipping better. Course management has gotten better. I've gotten stronger, so I've gotten more length. Just all around, I've really improved.
And Dennis, from your perspective, when you watch her, what do you see in terms of where Izzy is improving so quickly?
She has all that, but, it's really 90%, 10%, 90% mental. And if nothing else, what she's good at is her physical age, her chronological age, and her mental age are progressing at the same rate. That's really important. And from her standpoint, she's ahead of the game in that area. When in the recruiting process, when you watch the players play, you see an 18-year-old girl, but she's thinking like she's 14, or she gets upset by some things that go on. In her case, she's 16 going on 20, that type of thing. As it relates to golf, she's still, my granddaughter, young lady, and all that sort of stuff, but she's got a bright future in front of her.
In terms of her playing ability, what do you see her strengths being?
Well, she does drive the ball really well. She putts very well. She hits the ball far. She's strong. She works out a lot. She's in good physical condition as well as mental. But she is getting better in and around the green. I mean, there's not too many people that I've seen, let alone a young girl, 16, go and hit on the downhill lie out of a bunker and hit it 120 yards and back it up on the green. I've seen that now a couple of times. So something, the things that she's doing are ahead of the curve, so to speak.
Well, Izzy, congratulations on a wonderful round of golf and winning that particular tournament, and good luck in the very near future. We appreciate you spending a couple of minutes and saving that. Did they save any pizza for you?
Thank you so much. I cut out a little bit, but I heard the pizza. It was really
good. Thanks, Izzy. Take care.
All right, see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
See you in a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
Every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising.
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge.
Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing you the right balance of care centered around their lifestyles. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Enjoy the comforts of your apartment with an abundance of events just outside your door. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations in Madison, Janesville, and Baraboo. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
This is Gary D'Amato, senior writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.Golf. Visit Wisconsin.Golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.Golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. the voices of golf in Wisconsin.
And Gary D'Amato is going to be on a little bit later in the show. He played Century World today, and he was also at the Ray Fisher tournament over the weekend. But joining us now is Molly Braid, honored as the Wisconsin PGA Teacher and Coach of the Year and one of the best young teachers in America by Golf Digest. Molly, who's a PGA and LPGA certified professional, has spent about 9,000 hours teaching and coaching golf. She's also certified in bio-swing dynamics, aim point green reading, and involved with Titleist Performance Institute. That sounds pretty impressive for someone who grew up on a dairy farm in Orford, New Hampshire. How did that interest in golf come, Molly? And welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. I grew up playing a lot of sports, and golf was introduced to me by my father and my grandparents, and I didn't play a lot of it growing up until high school, and then I just really fell in love with it, and from there just, really wanted to try to play in college, and went from there.
You and Dennis, the co-host here on the show, both coached at Dennis, of course, for the Badgers, you at Ithaca College. Dennis, you've got a specific philosophy in terms of coaching women in golf, and I'm going to be curious to see what Molly's is, or if your two are similar. What's yours, first of all?
I'm not going to tell you.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm kidding you. Well, it took me a few years, to go ahead to understand that approach from women's golf. They see different, hear different, smell different. They do everything different than the guys do. They're better for golf in every phase. They're more supple. They're better retention, better focus. They have everything good except strength. So we went after that business of strength. Hand strength for women, known fact, is not the same as a guy. And in our game, we have to coordinate our core with our hands. That's strictly, you hit the ball with the club head. Last I knew, you moved the club head with your hands, so you better have some hand movement. And so that was the transition was not so much the golf part. The transition was understanding the mental approach for these women. And it got to the point where it was very difficult for me then to go back to coach the men's team when I had already had my mind set more like women were doing it.
Molly, does that fit in with your thoughts and philosophy on coaching women in golf?
Yeah, and I apologize. I couldn't quite hear everything you said there, but I think echoing a little bit was just that, women take on a lot of other things in their lives, I think. Girls in college, when I was at Ithaca, they were doing a lot of things, and it was Division III, so it was a little bit different, but they were spread pretty thin. So when they were at practice, they were there to work hard, and they practiced hard and worked very hard at their games. But then when they left practice, their minds were on other things. They were studying hard, and they were going to be doctors or all their different majors that they were focusing on. So I think women tend to have a lot going on, but really commit to the time they have.
Molly, in terms of when you're working with a woman and you're giving or lessons, or if somebody is interested in taking lessons, from a woman's perspective, what advice would you give them?
If a woman was looking to take lessons?
Right.
Oh, I would just tell them to get started with the fundamentals. Find someone who will help them put their hands on the club correctly, help them stand correctly. If we only have a little bit of time in the day or in the week to learn golf, learn it from the fundamentals first, and you can continue to get better forever that way. And
in terms of teaching, and you've been at it for a while, has it changed over the years? Are golfers' attitudes different? Is the equipment making any difference? Are the expectations higher because of the quality of clubs and those kind of things? Has that changed the way you approach the game and teach the game today?
Sure. Yeah, I think certainly definitely times have changed and equipment has changed. More forgiving clubs that go higher, land softer, clubs that are easier for women of all ages and skill levels to swing. So I do think expectations are higher because everyone can do it now. It's not just the people who could swing their father's old clubs or their husband's old clubs. Now, with club fitting and technology, you can get a perfect fit, and people expect to get better and I won't say buy their games, but if they've got the clubs that fit them and they're taking lessons, they expect to be able to do it for sure.
I'd like from both of you, and start with Dennis, what's the state of women's golf in Wisconsin today compared to, say, 5 years ago?
Well, I think from the younger people, there's more younger people that are playing, and only because we have people like our friend here who is bringing those people on. That's really the only way we're going to grow our game, is through the women's market, those people playing. And that's what's happening. I know in our situation here, when we have these Lifetime Sports tennis and golf, you take a look at them, the programs are packed, and they want to be something. And now this women's group are people, they can see a lifeline into college athletics, and many from a for pay part, where the athletics are getting, or the school tuitions are getting expensive, and here's an opportunity for them to play. And I can remember breaking 80 was quite the deal. Now, you're in that 75 range before we start looking at you. And so it's improving from that point. But I'm really happy we have somebody like this young lady going ahead to teach golf. We've had a couple of women who are PGA members, the TP1 player, people like that. And it's amazing how much that these women gravitated to them. And it's amazing also how much that guy starting out likes being taught by this woman. So I think it's great. I'm happy that she not only received the awards that she received, but the fact that she's in the game. And we need more of that.
Molly, how would you describe the state of women's golf in Wisconsin versus, say, 5 years ago?
So, I'm sorry, I couldn't quite make out the last part of your question.
How would you describe the state of women's golf compared to, say, 5 years ago?
Oh, well, I mean, I think it's more exciting than ever from the club standpoint, or the junior girls golf standpoint. You take leadership on from Augusta, with their event, and being able to watch these women play on TV now before they're professional really makes you buy into their story and want to learn about them and watch them as they progress. Being able to watch college players now on TV instead of just the PGA Tour, I think it's huge. So I think from all levels, it's exciting, and it's growing quickly. I think we're about to hit a time when we need to really foster the camaraderie factor from a club level, or from a public golf standpoint of, if women are seeing women do it, they'll keep doing it. But if we lose momentum, it's going to be one of the first things to go when if times get hard in the next few years.
Where do women go? Where do you tell them to go, Molly, when it comes to, let's say they come and they want some instruction, but they're not sure where to go, who to go with, be it a man or a woman or that type of thing, something that makes them more comfortable? What advice do you give someone that may be listening that said, gee, maybe I ought to learn and take some instruction?
Sure. So from an instruction standpoint, I think the LPGA and the PGA have done a phenomenal job with their websites, making golf instruction more accessible. Finding group classes or the Get Golf Ready, Women's Golf 101 classes are phenomenal. And then I think the LPGA Women Amateurs, that's a phenomenal program where there's women across the country playing together, and always you always have a foursome or you always have a group to go play with. When I first moved to Milwaukee, that was the first thing I did. I didn't know Maggie Leaf. I didn't know Katie Falk at the time. I joined the Executive Women's Golf Association, and I went out to Brown Deer Golf Course every Wednesday night, and I played with a group of 8 to 12 women, and those were my golf buddies, and that's how I was introduced to golf in Wisconsin.
Dennis, what advice would you give Molly in terms of here's someone that obviously has a passion for the business and can be a great asset in terms of developing women in golf? Any thoughts that you could give her? Well,
I think she's doing the right thing. She's getting involved. I mean, you have to get where they being women, feel comfortable in a situation, whether it be a club or a private club, and the camaraderie part is a big part. We do that here, play 3 holes and drink wine, that type of thing, where all of a sudden, now they don't want to play 3 holes, they want to play 6 holes or 9 holes, so, they're getting into it. I did have an opportunity this past weekend to go and watch that Epson tour, and phenomenal to see all those women. I went to see number foursomes, to see them so fundamentally correct and hitting the ball, which they have to be because strength as I told you, is an issue. But these girls were hitting it, 270, 280 like nothing. And I just think we're on an upward kick as it goes for women. And I think, back to my point, if you're going to grow the game, it's going to be through the women's sector. Just what she's talking about, to get them to feel comfortable. So I can see it here. No, where not every morning is Saturday morning where the guy goes ahead and plays golf and then hurry up and get home. Oh, no. His wife, they're playing with him. They still have the buddy aspect, but there's their wife getting involved to play. And the guys are getting smarter. If your wife plays, you'll be able to play more.
There you go. And Molly, thank you for joining us on Talking Golf, and keep up the good work. We appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks for your time.
Okay, good.
And we'll be back after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells, a Herdston Fry masterpiece, is one of the premier golf destinations in the Midwest. Wild Rock provides a true test of your skill, combined with some of the most stunning vistas you're ever going to encounter on a Wisconsin golf course. Download the new free Wild Rock app. It's a true game changer and lets you stay up to date and receive special promotions regarding all things Wild Rock. Bring your A game, folks. The Rock is waiting for you. Visit wildrockgolf.com. wildrockgolf.com.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Hi, this is Matt LePay, voice of Badgers football and basketball. At this very moment, there are more than 198,000 individuals in Wisconsin serving as caregivers for a loved one living with dementia. Connect them to support through the Alzheimer's Association's 24/7 helpline. One call, thousands of answers, all free of charge. Call 800-272-3900 today. This message made possible through the generous support of Oak Park Place.
And we're back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from TPC Wisconsin, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown. maybe we can help out a couple of people, at least give them a thought process that they can use on a couple of things to maybe improve their game a little bit there, Tiz. How do you fix a pull?
How do you fix a pull?
Yeah.
Well, normally a pull meaning the shape pull, not a hook or slice. That's called a path. So in our teaching, when we go by shape, trajectory, and path, path is an indicator, is judged by the relationship of your shoulders to the line in the strike zone. We're assuming that the club is in front of you. The pull then is that your club is in front of you, but your shoulders are open to the line at impact. We need to correct that. You have to have proper footwork. So you create that rotation of your footwork and then rotate your shoulders. Then there's a couple other things too when you get into it that pecs and abs have to go through before your shoulders. Most everybody, when they do, they core body release, their whole body releases. Oh no, hips go first, then pecs and abs, and then shoulders so you can correct arm speed. So this business of a pull is just that. Your shoulders are open to the line at impact. And now you go back, why are they open? It may be that the club is so far behind you on the way coming down that you have to turn your shoulders to get the square. So we have to go right from the beginning, start your takeaway, and then talk about how that core releases.
When you hear somebody say the movement is over the top, what does that mean?
It's just that. Over the top means the shaft of the club, which is your plane, the shaft of the club is on top of the circle. That's over the top. So now when you come through, your path is going to the left. That's going over the top. And that's normally from the beginning. The club head gets behind you. There's a deal. The club follows you to the right. The club always follows your turn to the right. You follow the club to the left. But if the club gets behind you because of an improper takeaway, that 8 o'clock position of the first 2 feet, and the club head moves faster, than your turn, then the club's behind you. Now, the only way you're ever going to get it square is to turn your shoulders to get the club back to square. Now you're over the top. Now you're going left. Or you flip it, and now occasionally you'll get a good shot.
You mentioned feet a lot in terms of the importance of the swing. What if your feet are flat? Is that a negative in the swing?
That's not good. No. We do the teaching part. We create shooting free throws. For a lot of people who have played basketball, they saw it. Shooting free throws. Now I did that. Of course, that's what I went to school on, so I can tell you about it. That you use your feet and your toes, and you push down on the ground. You'll see a lot of these players today jumping around. I mean. Murray Mack, all these guys are jumping. Well, what they're doing is pushing down on the ground at the same time that they're making contact. That's footwork. You don't want to be flat-footed because if you are, then your core body, from your waist up, pecs and abs and shoulders, are your power. Power is at the bottom. So it's your footwork where you go ahead, your transition goes from right heel or left heel to right heel and back to left heel again. That you must do. And then the timing comes in making that core body move, the release, how your hands make contact.
Do we have Mr. D'Amato on with us?
I was kind of enjoying this. Why are we doing this with him?
Is he with us? He's with us, huh?
Oh, there he is.
Now, I sent you a text and said, unless you shot 85 or better at Century World today, you can't come on. So is this interview over, or...
It's over. It was over after about 16 holes. Sorry.
How was it, Gary? How was it? Pretty nice, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really, it's pristine. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The weather's great, and it's really. I'm staying in the inn at Century World. It's a nice place.
Yeah, it really is. That's the second time now that they've gone through that renovation process. And I was on the first one. Trent Jones Jr. and I, and we were doing the first ones there, and it was nice then. You could see what they were doing, but you could tell that the Trent was listening to John Jonas, who was the principal there of Target Golf, and there's no such thing, as Target Golf. People just shoot over the target, so it's pretty.
What was different about it, Gary? What did you see that is different than what it has been?
Well, the fairways used to be as wide as aircraft carriers, and they've really brought the rough and getting it primed and ready for the U.S. Senior Open next year. So the fairways are definitely noticeably skinnier, and they've added a few bunkers and they've changed a couple greens. Otherwise, other than the fairways being pinched in a little, it's really the same golf course as it has been since the last renovation. Really good though. It's not getting a lot of play, 20-minute tee times, so it's in pristine condition.
We were wondering about that. Yeah, here's Dennis, who knew the people involved with that course and was helped with the design, and neither one of us have been invited up there to play it, but you must have a special connection or something, huh?
I don't know about that. For some reason, the people at Century Insurance have taken a liking to me. I don't know why.
Right, but, here we go. It's the power of the pen. It's the power of the pen. Come on.
They treat me well up here, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate their hospitality. It's a good place.
You had a busy weekend over the weekend. The Ray Fisher tournament down in Janesville. You covered it, and a high schooler won that tournament for the first time ever.
I'll tell you what, Mason Schmidtke was really impressive. He gets to the 17th tee with a one-stroke lead, and he described how he wanted to play the hole later to me, and he sounded like a touring pro talking. Just, if I want to hit it straight, I want to cut it, to try to drive the green on a 338-yard hole. But if I hit it straight, it's okay because I go through the fairway and I've got a good shot and a good angle at that pin. And he just took me through his thought process, and it sounded like someone who'd been playing on the tour for 8 years. And he's a 17-year-old, going to be a senior at Sheboygan North High School. I'll tell you what, these kids are more prepared than they ever have been, at any other point. They're ready, at 17, 18, 19 to win these kind of tournaments.
And a lot of younger players that are being developed in the state. But the conception of the Ray Fisher tournament actually started here, right, Dennis?
Way back, yeah. When I first got here in 1972, I think the first one was in 69 or 70. And there was a guy, him, Steve Caravello.
Yeah?
Won this tournament one year here. It was in the year that the first year I was back in 71, 72. He shot 370s in a row, which was unheard of at that point.
Yeah.
That's really pretty good. But, yeah, it started here and then moved on to Ray Fisher. There was a person, I forget his name, that they were honoring. What's it called? Ray Fisher. What's the matter with me? Ray was a general here, or a score person here, and they're a long time, and then they moved it down to Janesville. I don't know if that's where he was from, maybe, and they moved it there in his honor.
Do you know, Gary, at all how it got to Janesville?
I don't. No, I don't. That was before my time. It's been there quite a long time, I know. I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know it started at Cherokee. It's got a great history. You look at that trophy, and it's a who's who of amateur golfers. It's probably one notch below maybe the state amateur for prestige, but Steve won it. Bomowski won it. Archie Dadian won it, I think, 5 times back in the early going. So
it was called a 72-hole medal play championship. That's what it was called.
Yeah, it's got an amazing history.
Hey, by the way, Century World, Steve said it in his press conference at his tournament over the weekend. He's looking forward to going up there and playing it because of the Open being there next year. And somebody asked him, "Did you ever win a tournament there?" And he thought about it for a minute, and he said, "Yeah, it goes back to high school." He said
Could be, yeah.
He won a tournament, but he said it's 40 years ago that I won that tournament up there.
Yeah, right.
Gary, you and Dennis both know Archie Dadian. And you did a story on him, and apparently the illness is back. Why don't both of you guys talk a little bit? Start with you, Gary, about Archie Dadian and what he's meant to golf in Wisconsin.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Yeah, Archie was sort of a hero of mine when I was, back when I was growing up in golf. There was no internet or cell phones or highlights on Sports Center or highlights. There was nothing, and so we just kind of read about Archie in the newspapers, because back then the papers really covered golf. And I grew up in St. Francis, and he was from South Milwaukee, just a few miles away, and we played at the same course, Grant Park. And so a couple times I would stand behind him and watch him hit balls in a little field across the street from Grant Park, and just amazing eye-hand coordination. He hit every wedge within 5 feet of the flag on the practice range, and I became his friend as time went on, and I wrote a lot of stories about him, and just he's won dozens and dozens and dozens of tournaments. Just a a really, really good player.
What do you remember about him, Dennis?
You know, he played on tour events. Archie Dadian played on the tour events, and you know, when I first got here, you know, we got paired together and played together, and he's just a gentleman in every sense of the word. He had a specific caddy. It was a friend of his that was caddying, and I can remember we played a hole, and he missed the shot, and of course the caddy, Archie. He gave him a couple of those, like Archie, like, what are you doing, Archie, you know. And they would go down the fairway, and then he did it one more time. I know he missed a putter. Archie, you know, this guy was really on him. So it was humorous, too. But in all cases, he's a real gentleman. You know, I've never heard him any abusive language or anything that would be detrimental and to another character or stuff. Always a good guy, firm handshake. Everything about it was good.
That tells you a lot.
Well, it is, you know, and he looked at you when he shook hands with you. He didn't look around for all the birds flying, but, you know, all good things.
Well, gentlemen, we're out of time here. Gary, too bad next time you'll
Now,
break
wait a
85.
while.
No,
What did you
we
shoot?
gotta go.
What did he shoot?
Just give us the number. We got to go.
I can't give you the number. It's
BS,
too embarrassing. I'd say 40.
BS.
Was it over 90?
Absolutely.
It was over
barely
90.
over 90. It was
Barely,
over 90,
but he won't tell you what it was. He does.
Thanks, Gary. We'll be back after this time
All right,
out
guys.
I'll see you.
on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
Every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising.
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge. This is Paul Brown for Oak Park Place. Oak Park Place Memory Care Communities provide seniors and their loved ones peace of mind. Residents find purpose in their day through a success-oriented program focused on meeting residents where they're at on this journey with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. At Oak Park Place, loved ones find comfort and connection through caregiver support groups. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
This is Gary D'Amato, Senior Writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.Golf. Visit Wisconsin.Golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.Golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. The voices of golf in Wisconsin.
Back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. While Tiz is on the phone talking to one of his many fans, I'll wrap up the show here and remind everybody we have golf passes for Wild Rock in the Dells. They're $60, including golf car. The money comes to the Golf Effect charity, so you get to deduct it. And you can play golf at Wild Rock for $60, including the car. We only got about 50 of those passes. Some of them are gone. So you may want to check into it. Go to the golfeffect.org website. On the bottom of the main page, it says Golf Passes Wild Rock. Just click on that icon there. It's involved with PayPal. You pay for the amount of passes that you want to buy, and then they'll be sent to you by the people here at TPC Wisconsin. Again, there's only 50 passes. Some of them are gone. And when the 50 are gone, that's it, and no more passes. So if you want to play Wild Rock, now would be the time to check it out. For Dave McCann, along with Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown. Thanks for joining us. And that's another edition of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. And we bid you farewell from TPC, Wisconsin.
All right, boys, good show.